Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mania 7K World Cup 2024. We are in the quarterfinals with our next set of matches here. We have a very interesting one here, losers bracket match between Germany and Estonia. We can see the seeding's very, very close between these two teams, so I'm pretty excited to see where this one might end up. I'm Potassium F here commentating once more with Surfchew. How are you doing here?
Hello. 3 matches in a row tonight. And I think of the 3 we have, this has to be the one that's going to be very much a close call. I remember you mentioning like before, I think it was last night, before we even had the commentary schedules, that this one match in particular, Germany against Estonia, is going to be pretty interesting because at least player-wise, Estonia actually has some players who are capable of keeping up with Germany, and like Germany obviously had a pretty decent start to this tournament, only dropping to the lower losers bracket last weekend. Well, it's going to be interesting because, yeah, like they're going to be fighting for survival now.
Yeah, loser of this one is going to be eliminated, while the winner will have to play one more match tomorrow in the losers bracket to determine whether or not they continue on to the semi-finals. Now, of course, important to note as well, Estonia only with 2 players on their team, so they are lacking a little bit in terms of, roster flexibility, you would say, throughout these ones. A little bit less full coverage in the skill sets in their team, and that I think is mostly why Germany is the higher seed overall here. But I think we're going to see some interesting scores because both of these teams have their star players like Tukia Whiskers on the side of Germany and I need to make sure I'm getting this number, Arcaxio on the side of Estonia is one of actually Arcaxio, I remember from qualifiers getting one of the best LN scores, I think, on stage 4.
Anyways, going into the strategies now, Germany is going to be opting to protect total eclipse of the sun, and now we're waiting for the bans. I think it's Estonia who protected the wife jam, if I am reading the chat correctly here. Anyways, let's continue with some of the players. Actually, one of the players that I've been looking forward to commentating is actually Sinkip. If I am not mistaken, they are one of the few players in the entire roster who's using a 2DX controller.
Yeah, I believe that one is correct. They do stream on Twitch as well, I've seen.
Yep.
But yeah, BMS controllers always very... I always enjoy watching them in World Cups because, at least to me, who is absolutely useless when it comes to controllers like that, it is always very cool to see how high of a skill level you can get to with that kind of setup. Now, of course, Sinkip specializing in the rice in that case.
I find it interesting. Actually, no, it actually does make sense. Germany actually banning the speed pick. It's more reliant on stairs, and at least from what I've really read from everyone during the planning phase for map pools, stairs are an absolute enemy for rice. For controller players, like not the stairs where you go like odd number columns, even number columns, and something like that. More like a straight on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or something like that. Estonia is the one opting to ban Rice 5, and it's going to be picking Fansa.
An interesting spread of bans here. We're getting 2 rice bans, so both of these teams feeling fairly comfortable with the LN, so we're not seeing any LN1, LN2 focus at all in these protects and bans. And we're going to see this one, a little bit of a longer LN pick coming out from Estonia first of all. I do expect we are going to see an LN focus from Estonia, really trying to leverage the skill of Arcaxio in some of these LN picks.
And I would presume Germany is going to be more of a revolving door, again taking advantage of their squad's depth. We might be seeing a few substitutions here and there, though I presume that Tukia Whiskers will be the main anchor for the German team.
Yeah, and of course, Estonia not getting the luxury of switching their players out. So if there is any map that one of their players is not so comfortable on, they are just going to have to fight it out with the two of them here. So we'll see how it goes. First one here, this one, I don't think we've seen this one in the past couple matches. So it's been a while since this has come up, but this one definitely a bit of more like O2 Jam style, kind of wackier to look at least visually on stream.
It does, and that's really the beauty of these Auto Gem style picks. Like not only that they're aesthetically nice to look at. I mean, there are certain patterns here that literally form a heart.
Yeah, I love
Other
the
than
heart
that,
sliders.
yeah, the heart elements, and the other fun part about charts like this is that they're actually really tricky to hit despite being super comfortable on the hands. But anyways, here we go with Fansa, the Korean cover of this Honeywork song, if I am not mistaken. Germany immediately taking a very, very slight accuracy lead here. Vinka's actually carrying mid 98%. Hisela on, as I mentioned their username, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, both of the Estonian players actually finding a miss there, but Vinkas trading one of them back, so the score lead is going to be fairly close, all things considered. And I think we're seeing a very, very clear two 1v1s happening right now. Arcaxio finding multiple misses and Vinkas trading it out, but we can see in terms of accuracy, it is Takia Whiskers versus Arcaxio and Vinkas versus Hisaela in the accuracy department. But with these misses coming in, Arcaxio really struggling to hold the combo throughout these patterns. And it is Takia Whiskers making the difference in this match so far.
Not exactly the way you'd want this chart to go, especially if you're Arcaxio. Vinkas and Hisela, I presume, will be the ones trading most of the misses throughout the rest of this chart. But especially in this quote-unquote break section, which is definitely not a break at all given the patterning, you really want to limit your misses here.
Yeah, and that slower section really did a number on Hisaela's accuracy. Takia Whiskers finally breaks the full combo. A fairly clean break. Vinka's going to follow it up. Actually, now Germany's starting to struggle a little bit more with some of these patterns. This score lead is going to start to shrink a little bit, but still pretty safe with a 30,000 point lead.
And I would presume so. This accuracy difference between these two teams being a good part of the score gap between these two teams. I think it's actually performing better than Hisela as of the moment, accuracy-wise. Arcaxio under Takia Whiskers' accuracy. As we enter the final section of this chart where the patterning becomes a bit more dense and you see those heart long notes, no one actually we see a few accuracy drops, but it's relatively little considering what we have seen earlier in the chart. Vinkas and Arcaxio finding yet another trade. Trades do favor the team in the lead, and that's currently Germany.
Yeah, Estonia is, they're seeing Germany have the misses that Estonia needs, but every single time it's just being traded out. One of the players on Estonia always finding the miss to trade alongside the German misses. And so it's going to end up being a very early breakpoint for Germany here, winning both of these little 1v1s that we saw happening, with Takia Whiskers being the only one at the end to maintain that 99%.
A very good start here for Germany to open their campaign this quarterfinals.
Yeah, we can see actually looking at these scores, Vinkas Hisaela, very, very similar scores at the end of the day. It is just that difference between Takia Whiskers and Arcaxio. Arcaxio finding a little bit too many misses along the way. I reckon actually, without some of those misses, looking at the ratio, looking at the 200 count, it would have been fairly close as far as the accuracy is concerned between those two players. It is just the misses mostly that Estonia needs to keep to a minimum going forward.
Definitely, but now that chart is behind them, they just need to keep their heads down. I mean, they still have a pretty long match ahead of them. Now they should try to maybe get some motivation. I mean, not motivation. Get that momentum back, as Germany will be making the first pick of the match.
And I do see Syncip in chat there, so I am leaning towards a Rice pick here, and it is going to be Rice 3 in fact.
I'm
gonna
actually
be
pretty surprised that Race 3 is the more popular of the two coursing picks we have as it stands.
Yeah, interesting to see the faster one being prioritized. I guess this BPM might be a little bit more comfortable to get good accuracy on for these players that are, obviously super strong with their chord stream. But I would understand if, the slower BPM, I think it's around 175-ish, maybe that ends up being a little bit too slow for some players to really try to get that high accuracy on. But regardless, we are seeing the switch in, Sinkip coming in for Germany.
Again, Estonia only carrying 2 players into this World Cup. They don't have the luxury of substitutions, so they'll have to stick it out and maybe hope to find points off Germany. We're carrying a pretty formidable team right now. I mean, again, like if you're a 2DX controller user, you have to be very proficient on Rice. I mean, there's no turntable, so you can focus on the keys.
Yeah, and in particular, you always do think towards like chord stream maps in particular when you think of the BMS controller players, right? These kind of patterns do just play very well into that kind of play style.
We're just waiting for
Yeah, we're waiting the whole
intro.
someone's not skipping.
Yeah, they're just ghost tapping, I think. Well, more time to enjoy the music. Anyways, here we go. Also, it's kind of surreal to see the difference in scroll speed between these players. I mean, there are players that are very comfortable with lower scroll speeds than higher stuff. It's most likely because they want to keep their gameplay as close as consistent as possible between the multiple rhythms of playing. As we see Hisela struggle at the start of his chord stream chart, and I don't blame them at all.
Yeah, this is a really difficult one to manage to nail. But we are seeing, once again, Sakia Whiskers, Arcaxio both kind of trading, or well, I say trading, but maintaining the same kind of accuracy, same kind of score between those two. It's the difference right now in Hisela with a few misses. Sakia Whiskers is actually getting a miss there, as well as Sinkip. So this lead's going to start to shrink.
Arcaxio, the only full combo left, if I am not mistaken. Also, I just got word that Sinkip is actually using a lane cover note skin. So what's a lane cover note skin? It's basically a way for you to use hidden or fade-in or flashlight without the certain mechanics tied to them if you're using those mods natively. Hisela finding more drops into this break section, which is not really something that you want for the most part. Especially that you have Arcaxio carrying a full combo, trying to keep this scoreline as close as possible. Meanwhile, Germany has recovered from their earlier misses, going into the densest section of this chart once this part ends.
And you start getting concerned as well if Hisela can keep it up in the second part. But Sinkip finding a miss here. Not going to matter too much right now. It is mostly accuracy drops that Estonia really wants at this point, because I feel like the misses have been traded back and forth a little bit, but it's this accuracy Sinkip has over Hisela right now that's making most of this lead difference. Obviously the miss is not quite helping. It's going to keep Germany in the lead for now.
And with more of those drops, Germany is really pulling ahead. Almost at 50,000 points, our score gap. As we enter the final seconds of this chart, as Arcaxio actually getting the only full combo in this multiplayer room. Unfortunately, they won't be able to get the point here.
That's an extremely impressive 990k from Arcaxio as well with the full combo.
Yeah. But regardless of that, Germany has scored their second point on the board, and immediately Estonia is going for LN3.
LN3 is 8-bit adventure, yeah, so we're going for more of a straightforward Rice pick in this one now, compared to Fansa from before. So Estonia gonna be relying, well, they're gonna need to keep the misses a bit more at a minimum for this one if they want to be able to take their LN point. I do think that first LN map that they showed, they did show some potential, at least in the accuracy department, to keep up with Germany. They're going to have to prove it now.
Well, the thing about this chart is that, again, this is pretty close to what you'd say a core stream chart, and it's pretty fast as well. We might see a similar result to what we saw from RC3.
Yeah, what that tells me is Arcaxio is probably going to destroy this, right?
Most likely. I mean, they're more of an LN player, right?
Yeah, we'll see. And it is, I do expect the kind of two little 1v1s to be coming out as well in the diagonals between these two teams. But this one's short one, so the misses are going to matter a bit more. And oh, that's not a very good way to start there for Arcaxio, dropping down below 99% with the miss. Vinkus finding a miss themselves, though. So it trades out.
Arcaxio actually recovered pretty fast, though. Unfortunate drops, though, for both Hisela and Arcaxio.
Those were big drops. Look at the accuracy. Arcaxio down to 98.7. No one is there to match Takia Whiskers right now on 99.6. Just repeated misses.
Some consecutive drops here coming from Vinkus, but that is currently not making any dent to this score lead that the Germans are having, especially with Hisela finding yet another drop. Arcaxio actually following it up as well. This is not going so well for the Estonians.
Yeah, they're managing to recover the accuracy somewhat on Estonia. Now Arcaxio are back above 99% finally. Hisela is managing to get above 98%, but the combo, like the damage has been done in terms of the score. 30,000 points. They're going to have to rely on some massive mistakes over on the German side.
But we're not yet seeing that. I mean, we see both hit distributions from Vinkus and Takia Whiskers are practically consistent, like more consistent is what we're seeing for both Estonians. Hisela finding yet another drop in this really dense section, and I don't blame them for finding any drops here. It's extremely hard to maintain combo in this section.
We're seeing it there. More misses coming out from Estonia. Multiple of them there. Not too bad. They're fairly clean misses, but no misses coming from Germany. And that means that Germany's just going to find another break point here with a bit of dead lag on Takia Whiskers' side there. But yeah, that is going to be a full combo for Takia Whiskers, the only full combo in the match. And another break point for Germany.
And they have the opportunity to stretch this lead by one more chart. And honestly, now that we've seen almost every single category here, the pool is wide open for the German.
Yeah, I wonder whether we're going to go back to the Rice. That was a fairly comfortable win for them before, so we could just see the other chord stream map being picked if Germany wants to keep with that. And that is exactly where they're going to go, actually. Burning Star being picked there, Rice 2.
And actually, they're a good pick coming from the Germans here. Trying to maintain that more of this chord stream theme that we've been having over the past two charts. This one being the third in a row. And we'll be seeing Sinkip coming in back for the Germans. A slower chord stream pick of the two.
The slower one means that maybe there could be a bit more comfort to be found for Hisela in this one, as long as they can keep up with the density and the length of this one.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 46 seconds of straight up chord streaming does give a toll on your hands. Arcaxio and Sinkip both carrying mirror mod. So the bottom part of the screen might look a bit weird if your peripheral vision is starting to trick you in a way. But
I
we'll
think
keep
it
you
already
posted.
kind of
Yeah.
looks weird with the scroll speeds. Like the
Yeah,
difference
yeah.
between Takia Whiskers and SimKip is just huge.
Anyways, Hisela finding the first drop of this chart. I mean, we've been seeing that throughout the entire match. I don't blame them. Like the pools did get it's a significant jump from the round of 24. Again, like for basically half the teams in the losers bracket, they came from the round of 24. They sat out last weekend, so they were so the pool difficulty definitely jumped. And
Yeah,
unless
absolutely.
the teams had some form of practice of the previous round's pool, it does it does get it does get shocking, especially that you're facing teams that have way more history playing the game or some sort. As we're seeing here from the Germans, who are still we're carrying really high accuracy. Sinkip here, carrying a 99.69. Nice. Arcaxio with a 99.78, actually the highest accuracy in the entire multiplayer room. But Kisela, as unfortunate as it is, the accuracy just isn't there. But again, like, we can't blame them.
Yeah, definitely difficult to keep up with a pool as hard as this one. Now we're getting into the quarterfinals, kind of the middle map pools of the tournament, you would say here. So these ones are definitely no joke, despite how easy some of these players make it look. Arcaxia down there, as you said, highest accuracy in the lobby right now. Skia finding the miss early on into the map, but so far has been holding consistent. And this lead, we can see it's growing and growing as we're getting into the last core of the map. Maybe some players might run out of stamina at this point, but it's looking unlikely for this point lead to be overcome.
I am not going to be mentioning any of the names at the bottom of the screen because these are really nutty runs we're seeing right now. Germany has been performing very well. Actually, all of these players have been performing very well. Hisela actually finding some rhythm here in the denser section of the start, which is a good sign for them. Well, never mind.
God damn it. Okay. There goes one of the full combos in the last 5 seconds. Unlucky there for Arcaxio. But SimKip managing to hold on to that combo for the entire thing. The full combo there. Actually, Arcaxio getting the better score overall because of the accuracy. Only 4 200s. But overall, that is going to be Germany with their 4th point in a row now. Estonia looking for their first point. They've still got a few picks in here, and they've got their Protect, which they haven't picked until now. It's going to be hybrid number 3.
I mean, for some reason now that I realize it, I don't, like, pick-wise, strategy-wise, I don't think this is a good pick. Mostly because of the difficulty of the chart in itself. Like, this is I'd say the hardest hybrid of the entire pool. So I have a theory. Either they protected this because they just wanted to play this at some point, or the other theory, they protected this because it's music that they actually want to play.
Yeah, protect it for the song.
Yeah, protected for the song.
I know I've heard some very strong opinions about this song in particular in the pool. One way or the other. But I think, as well, there could be some merit in picking one of the harder maps. Maybe, because Hisel are struggling with the accuracy, but maybe they are trying to get Vinkus in particular on the German side to try and mess up a little bit more as well, to try and tie Hisel's score.
And we're seeing it a bit in the intro of this chart, actually. Well, I was about to say Hisela actually performing just a tad bit better than Vinkus, though we see the first drop coming from them. But honestly, I don't think that we won't be seeing much of a difference until way late in the chart where the density really starts to pick up. As we see Arcaxio finding a drop, and that is a miss that you don't really want to see coming from the Estonian side. Tsukiya Whiskers and Vinko still getting their full combos. So Estonia has their job cut out for them.
And Tsukiya is crushing it right now, 99.66. That accuracy is pretty phenomenal at this point in the map. Vinkus finds a miss there. That's one of the full combos down from the German side. And it's going to...
well within striking this. Ooh,
yeah,
that
it's
miss.
getting close, actually.
The advantage a bit more.
And actually, the difference coming right now is between Hisaela and Vinkus. Hisaela is beating out Vinkus in terms of the accuracy. 98.75 versus 98.3. And Arcaxio is just holding on well enough, close enough to Tsukiya Whiskers for this score to start to flick towards Estonia.
Well, not that enough yet to get it over to their side, but they're right there. What Estonia really needs to do is stay consistent as much as possible, especially now we're about to enter the harder sections of this chart.
We're going to be expecting more misses coming in, and Vinkus is going to be the first victim there. Hisaela does trade it though, so back and forth, and Hisaela's miss comes with a big act drop as well. So Germany comes out on top of that trade.
Vinkus finding yet another drop here. Actually, the still lower accuracy over from Hisaela. Hisaela needs to hold on to whatever combo they're holding on right now. Maybe hope as well for Tsukiya Whiskers to find the drop somewhere into this final 8 of this chart where it gets faster, planets get denser. And there you go, a drop from Tsukiya Whiskers and Arcaxio.
Full combo gone from Tsukiya Whiskers. I don't think it's enough. That's just a trade. Accuracy still in favor of Germany, but that miss helps. It's only 3,000 points in the lead. He's getting another miss. And the trades are not working out for Estonia. More accuracy being dropped by Estonia. And it is going to be Germany managing to hold on to their lead at the very end. Only 6,900 points. And of course, Tsukiya Whiskers with another MVP performance.
Shout out to Hisaela here, trying just enough to keep this close. Like, that's a very commendable performance right there.
I mean, looking at these scores, that was a good pick. In hindsight, you said there might be some doubts coming in, but Hisaela managing to beat out Vinkus. It's just Tsukiya Whiskers performing too well.
Yeah. But now, they need to win 6 charts in a row if they want to extend their campaign by at least one more match. Meanwhile, Germany, 1 chart away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they still have their Protect, which I believe was this one. And Rise 4, Germany still going with the Rise picks. It's been working out for them, and if you think of another Rise pick where Singkip might be able to shine on, here's the Chord Jack.
And honestly, if you're one player that doesn't favor Chord Jacks at all, I wish you luck.
Yeah, Chord Jack is one of those unfortunate skill sets where in a tournament setting at the least, there's 2 kind of categories. There's either someone that's trying to get, 1 to 100 ratio FC, or the alternative is dying.
1 to 100. 1 to the 100, but the other way around. Yes.
Yeah. 100 misses.
And I fall to the latter category, unfortunately.
For this map, me too. Absolutely. But if you are not comfortable, if you're not comfortable with the density, if you're not comfortable with the speed and the patterning, then you will struggle on a map like this. But at least so far, everyone's off to a fairly good start. We're seeing some very, very high accuracy. Arcaxio absolutely sharpshooting right now, but Hisaela finding the first miss early on, dropping down to 98%. And maybe we're seeing some discomfort over there.
And again, I don't blame them, especially if you're that one player who doesn't favor the skill set at all. Again, we see that Estonia only came into this World Cup with only 2 players. never had the luxury of being able to substitute players in case somebody favors the skill set a bit more, and we're seeing the effect of that. Sinkip finding an unfortunate drop to KO Whiskers, the only full combo left in this multiplayer room, and Germany well on their way to advancing to tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple more misses from Germany, but these misses, you can see, they are very clean. Sinkip still with 99.7, despite the multiple misses there. And the accuracy is more than enough to be able to carry through this point lead. Another miss coming through for either player. I mean, they're trading between Sinkip and Hisiela at this point, but those trades are not going to do anything to this current score lead right now. Arcaxio still holding what is, I believe, well, not the highest score because they missed earlier, but the highest accuracy for Arcaxio right now.
I'm in awe really of these players who could carry at like these accuracies regardless. I mean, well, here's something though, like I think the result has been practically sealed. Germany will be advancing to tomorrow and awaiting the result of the other matches this weekend to know their opponent for tomorrow. But for Estonia, what a gallant show. Like being able to at least keep up, qualify for this tournament and make things happen on their Oceania scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 7K World Cup, the level now, even though it has been extended towards the round of 32, it is so hard to even qualify for the top 24 teams in the bracket. So I think Estonia definitely putting up some promising performances, especially, you know, we're seeing Arcaxio pulling up another MVP at the end of this map as well. So definitely have some talent in Estonia. Gonna be able to come back maybe next year to go even further, but they are unfortunately going to be eliminated here in the quarterfinals. While Germany, they get one more shot. They get to move on to tomorrow, where they will have to win one more match if they want to make it to the semifinals.
And we're just waiting confirmation for their possible opponent tomorrow.
I believe it's going to be the winner of United States versus Sweden is going to be Germany's opponent for tomorrow. So definitely an interesting one there. Very strong names I'm seeing in that particular match.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the must-watch matchups for this weekend. But anyways, before we leave you guys, and we should probably tell you guys that there is something that you can do to support these teams this 7K World Cup. Might want to mention them.
Yeah, if you want to support one of these teams, if you want any of the 24 teams that are here, Estonia included, I believe, there is the banners that you can put on your profile. If you go to the Osu store, buy one of those, or multiple of them, because they do stack now. So you can buy all 24 of them if you want, have them on your profile, make it very, very long so that people have to scroll down to see anything about you, which is very fun if you have the money for it. So feel free to support any teams that you want to in this one by going to buy one of those banners. But also, we are not going to spend too long waiting, because I believe there is another match that has just started about 3 minutes ago that is being streamed on the second stream. So if you check in the chat there should be a link as well to Osu Live _2, where there will be Indonesia versus Portugal being played right now.
And that is once again a losers bracket match. Both teams fighting for their survival in the tournament. And in terms for this stream, if I am not mistaken, we should be back here on twitch.tv/OsuLive with Vietnam facing Spain in less than half an hour. So go watch Indonesia against Portugal again on the B stream. Please support these teams because they really need your support.
Yeah, and come back here in 30 minutes or after the other match is done to watch another one. So we will be back at 15 UTC. Until then, see you next time.